And welcome to Buckman's Model Mania. Today I'm going to be working on the Moomin house from DeAgostini, stage 35. In this pack, we're going to start working on the second set of walls for the first floor. And I say first floor because that's what it says in the book. I've lived in Europe before. I understand the concept of the first floor being the first one above the ground floor. So let's go ahead and we got the book open. Let me get the parts open. And you can see, not very clearly probably, but you can see we've got another wall, some more wallpaper, and some more parts for furniture. Get the card out of here. So we got some wallpaper. We have another wall. Got some parts for some furniture, and I'm really curious what's in the little white box because I don't see anything. And actually, interesting, I think that plastic piece was just there to keep this part because it's pretty thin from going anywhere. And so let's see. Let's see what it doesn't show this. Detail base. Yeah, it actually doesn't show this, but it feels like it. I'm not sure if it's a metal part or if it's no, it's not magnetic at least, or if it's ceramic, but interesting little piece there. And I don't see it in the instructions. Very, very strange. So let me get these out of the way and we'll start working on this. So the first thing it does is it tells you to take the wall panel here and draw a line across the edge, just like we did on the other walls, which I happen to have right here because we're going to need them. So let me see if I can get this pulled back out. Like I said during the last video that I like to store my parts on the floor, meaning on the floor that it's going to be on. Let me set that out of the way. So I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm just looking, making sure that I've got this correctly. We've got a beveled edge on here. And this is the top because it's got these little, the way the shape is. Only 2 tabs on the bottom, 2 tabs plus a gap there on the top. Set these pieces off to the side. I'm keeping that piece of plastic here just in case I actually need it right away. And then we use the pink wallpaper here on this piece of wood. But I'm getting ahead of myself, looking at the instructions and not reading them like normal. Go ahead and get the wallpaper out. I'm not going to throw the bag away yet, though. The whole reason I brought the wall over was because what you're supposed to do is use, it doesn't say to use this, but I think this is the best way to draw the line. You set it up against here, use that as your straight edge, if you can keep it straight, and draw a line here. What that line is for is it's going to do 2 things. It's going to keep from blocking those holes with the wallpaper, and more importantly, it's going to help you line up the wallpaper. So looking at the wallpaper, just looking to see how they have it. They have it on here like this, and you can see it runs. It does go top to bottom. Just looking. That's kind of funny because it's actually a perfect square. It would work either direction. But I think the way they've got it is this direction with these 2 sets of 3 flowers up at the top. And as always, let me peel this back. Peel just part of it back. You don't do the whole thing because what you're going to need to do is lay it down as your lay it down as you peel the backing. Line this up, and here is the biggest reason too for the line. You can't just line it up with that. That one is actually a little bit offset. So let me get this lined up as best I can. And yeah, I'm overlapping on the top. Try this again. Get it down on the bottom all the way. Lining it up with the line. Just maybe overlapping it just a hair. Start pushing it down, and as I push it down, the backing is going to tend to slide off. And it says to take this last edge here. That's not bad. It's not perfectly straight, but that's not bad from end to end, having just that little part. You take it and you wrap it around here. Eventually, there'll be a wall on the outside that'll hold that in place. If it does not stay down, because some of these are popping up, I'll just lay down some glue underneath it and get it pushed in there. So once you have that, what it says to do is cut the wallpaper out of these two notches. Easiest way to do that, sharp knife. I always think it's best to cut it from the back using the wood as a guide. And what I tend to do, instead of cutting it completely out, what I like to do is just fold it over. That way I'm not having to fight with it to get it to go in. Must have missed a little bit on here. Then I just fold it over. You don't have to do it that way. You can cut it out. But to me, that's just a really quick and easy way. And when the piece goes in here, you're not gonna notice that it's folded over instead. So the next thing it says to do is take this panel and this wall and glue them. By the way, I inadvertently bent the tip on this bottle, so I have a new tip for it. I'm just looking, we've got this one, the wall from part 34. And it's going to go on here like this. You'll notice I have the wood is open there. And then we're going to do the same thing on here. To line it up. Let's see. Arrange them as shown. First, glue it to the wall from issue 32. Oh. Okay, so it says to glue it first to this wall. What it was telling you there is to get it together and make sure it's all ready to go, basically. So apply thin bead. Here. And I could use more glue than I do, but I try for a small amount of glue because it should, through time with multiple spots being glued, it should hold up pretty well. I'm using wood glue, so it should set up pretty easily on here. I'm going to need to get a needle for that because it feels like the tip is a little bit clogged. So I'm going to just set this in here. Wipe off the excess. And for right now, I'm going to pause, let that set for about 5 minutes, and I'll be right back. Okay, that's set up. It's actually pretty firm. It's been about maybe 5 minutes. Went and got a pin to clear the nozzle here. Unfortunately, it's not like the other one that I had. The other one was great because it was long. It would reach all the way down the gap or the needle here. So let me see. The next thing it says to glue this one on here like this, and then get the base. So key thing to remember is I don't want to get any glue in that gap there, or in the that gap there, because that's where the other wall is going to go. So let's get the glue on here first. Just thinking where the glue has to be, because I'm actually holding not differently, but yeah, differently actually. The short wall was what I was putting the glue on before. So I got glue on there. Close this up so it doesn't start solidifying in the needle again. Push this on here. See, it does not want to stay in place. So I'm going to set it like that. Hopefully it'll stay standing up. I'm going to grab this wall here. This is where this wall is going to go. Let's see. It's a little bit, wow, it's a lot uneven, but that should, there we go. That straightened that out. It was a lot uneven right here at the very end, but that snap you heard was me pushing it a little bit harder than I needed to. So I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to turn it over so that what I can do is I can put glue on the bottom edge here, all the way across, all the 3 pieces. Just like that. And then on the faces of all the tabs. I put it on the faces of the tabs as well. That way it will grab more than just on the surface. Should grab inside the floor as well. Just like that. Instead of fumbling with trying to put the top on, I'm just going to take the excess glue off there, grab my pin, if I can get a hold of it, and stick that down inside of there. Just making sure I've got this the right orientation, and we're just going to push it all down inside of all the holes. Take the Q-tip, take the excess off the edges, make sure it is down firmly, just like that. And you can see this flap here was peeling up again. So it goes on there just like that. And then the next thing we need to do is take this piece here with that little tab that goes in here, and we're going to glue along this edge and along the bottom edge and put them on here. So I'm just going to put some glue on the tab, both on the front and back and bottom, and then down along the side here. Right now I'm putting it underneath the paper where it keeps peeling up. I'm putting it next to it. So Sorry, I think I was just off screen there. A couple lines there. Put some on each of these tabs, and then I'll go on the bottom. And you can use pretty much most any kind of glue. I prefer the white glue or wood glue as much as possible. I know some people might prefer to use super glue, which it's completely up to the builder what glue they use. I like the white glue because should something go wrong, all I got to do is do a little bit of water and some heat, and it'll come loose. And it's not subject to breaking as badly as super glue is. Just saw a seam popping up right there. And so this is going to go on here just like this on these. These tabs are going to go down into these holes. And the key thing is to get one started and then push it down. And more important, I missed the tab there. That straightened out the wall here. I actually had this tab, come on, focus. I had that tab that's in there on this side of the wall. I looked at it, the wall was crooked. I'm like, what the heck? And so that will work relatively well. And here and here, these walls are solid. So like I was talking about last time, I'm not going to be able to run wires through the way I had planned, but I can use styrene tubes. I'm actually reaching into a drawer. I can run a styrene tube probably right here. This one's a little bit short, but like right there, just like that, it'll disappear into the background. You won't even notice it. I'll run it down into the floor so that it doesn't, it looks natural. Probably use a larger one like this because that will fill more of the hole, or it'll let more wires go through. I'm just looking, as I pick it up, I'm looking over here, and I need to push it down just a hair because it's not completely down. I can see light through it. This one as well was not down. Let me see if that, nope. That's as far as that one's going. But I'm talking a very minuscule gap. Might get a piece of paper through it, might not. Let's see if I can get this tip cleaned out a little bit. Put the pin in so that it is holding it clear. And if I can't get it to clear out completely, because you see, actually that needle or that pin does go all the way through. But if it doesn't work, I'll just run it in from the underside. And so it's talking here about on this wall, it's actually pretty well smooth. It's talking about when you do the paper on this side. Let's see. So we've got here, right here, the tips. It's talking about leveling it out, sanding it. It's good enough. I'm not going to sweat it because it's going to be under the wallpaper and inside to where you really won't be able to see it. Let's see. Blue line shows. Okay. The blue line around that piece is showing the wallpaper from stage 33, which this is 35, so it's 2 issues ago. Let me double check. I think I've got it right here. Let's see, is this it? I believe. Yeah, this is it. Matches the flowers. Put the 3 flowers group on the top here. And it's going to go on here just like this, and it's going to wrap around. Matter of fact, let's see if we can give you a better shot of that. Oh, that's why I didn't see it. So, switch cameras. It's going to go in here just like this and fall off again. And the reason they're doing it this way instead of with this off is because you got to get wallpaper on here as well. So let me take it out of this bag, and I'm also not going to throw this bag away because I might need it. I don't think I'll need it, but I might need it for something. So like I said, 3 flowers on the top, matching the 3 flowers over here. Just looking to see. From this corner, you can arrange the direction of the pattern, top, bottom as you prefer. Finish sticking it down, and then cut a hole for the door. I apologize that I'm turning it away from the camera. Let me see if I can move the camera over just a hair, and it's caught on stuff. It's caught on a power plug, so I might not be able to do it like I'd like to. And let me switch back while I get this done. I don't think I want to pull that power plug. I'm not positive. I think it might actually come down and run my computer. No, it doesn't. So I should be able to pull this without any problem. Oh, good, nothing shut down. Oh, you know what? That's my. It's not a big deal because it's my solder station. Stand this up, aim it down a little bit, rotate the camera. See if I can give you guys a decent view of what I'm doing. And of course, it was focusing on this corner wall here. So now, what I'm going to do is, again, 3 flowers on the top. And I know I'm talking a lot while you guys can't see anything, but I've got to have this where I can see it. Okay, there we go. Move this back a hair so I can lay this down. It would almost be more convenient if I could lay this wall down on something, but I think we should be okay. So I'm going to slide it in here very carefully, taking it down to the corner. I think that's got it. That should do it. So now, slowly pulling it across. This one, because it's a longer piece of wall and wood, is not pushing as quickly as the other one did. But I'm still doing my best to make sure it stays like that. We fold this one over. We fold this around and put it over top of it. I now have 2 layers of paper over here on this edge. I need to get the orange one, the first one down, so that I can lay this one down. Should be able to put this up. I apologize, I am out of frame right now. Oops, sorry, bumped the camera. Gonna have to do something. I'm gonna let that be I will, later on, I will glue this edge down. So now we take, just hang on. Okay, so now we take the scalpel and we're going to run it down the edge of the door. On both sides. And if it leaves a little overlap, that's okay, because there will be a frame over this door, I believe. I threw that into the wastebasket, but it was handy enough that I could get it. Let's see, there you've got the framed in door. Make sure, and you can see right here, I may come back here. Matter of fact, I can do it right now. I should be able to clear that out of there. So now we've got the wallpaper on that wall. And the last piece of wallpaper to do is this one right here that's going to go around this corner. Just making sure. So I want to be sure that my wallpapers match. And it does, and I'm looking. And that's what they want you to do, is start in the corner here as well. And then once you have it in the corner there, you can wrap it around the wall and fix it on the rest of the wall. Same thing over here. This corner piece that I folded over is popping up. Not going to worry about fixing that right now, but I will fix it if it keeps popping up. What's going to eventually be on the edges here is the walls from the outside of the house. So if the wall stays against if the wall is up against these walls, it'll be fine. I'm just planning on being able to have it stay down no matter what. So do the same thing on this side. Push it down into the corner there and set it in place. This is where it's going to be a little bit tricky because you have to cut out, there is a notch here and here that's going to have to be cut out. Folded the backing over a little bit further so I could wrap it around this corner. And just like before, just like every other piece of wallpaper. First things first though, it's starting to ride up. I'm not sure. Oh, it's not that it's riding up, it's that I didn't get it down all the way. So carefully work it back out. Come on. Get it all the way down. Better. Yeah, it was going up over the top of this wall because I didn't have it all the way down. It is starting to climb a hair. So we're going to pull it down. That's what I did not want. I just creased the wallpaper. But through the magic of television, maybe. Or maybe it's just I'm able to fix it. I got the crease out. Wasn't a bad crease, but it was enough that I could see it. So wrap this around here like this. This one's actually doing okay. Put it on there like that. Push it down. And now we have the 2 spots up there on the top to cut out, just like that. And that. Use the back end of the scalpel to push it down. Do the same thing over here. And I actually have done that on every place I've had to do it like this. I'm actually curious why these are here. I was curious, but I just realized that's for the ceiling joists. But now that is done. Let me switch back to the main camera. You can see a little bit of curve, and you can see that where those are. Looking in the camera, I see this wallpaper is wanting to peel up. It's going to be, you know, and that's the thing, is if I put a conduit in here, I can put a conduit in here. And it doesn't actually have to be a conduit, because I do also have, that's styrene. I do have basically paper popsicle sticks, and I can put it in there like that. I may actually do that with every wall, because that'll hide any imperfections in the corners of the wall that you might be able to see from the outside. So we're going to set this aside, and I'm sitting here pointing, I'm showing things to this camera that's over here while you guys are up there. That's kind of funny. So we're going to set that aside. We're going to bring these pieces back over. And it still doesn't tell me what to do with that there. I'm willing to bet that's going to show up in another pack, as you know, they're going to talk about that you got this in this pack here. Let's see. So it says to cut these all out, sand the side walls as needed. It says you don't have to sand any of them that will not be visible. I always do. I sand as I cut these out. What I'll do is I will take a sanding stick around all the edges so that the laser darkening of the wood won't be obvious or as obvious, because I want it to all look pretty uniform, especially if we stain it. I haven't read that far ahead in the books to see if this is going to get stained or painted. Pretty willing to bet it will get something. They laser cut this one against the grain, it looks like, which is why it's not wanting to cut that easily. Okay, there's that. So let me pause real quick while I sand these down and get them prepped to be able to put them together. Okay, I've got the pieces sanded. I do want to point out one thing that, you know, sanding sticks without a logo are awesome. When they put a logo on them like they did here, you lose about that much of the sanding stick, because this, especially down here, this does not sand at all. This down here, it's a higher grit. It doesn't work very well. So just my personal opinion. So now that we have all the pieces apart and sanded, and you know, one of the things that also helps, I believe, in my opinion, actually, I can sand that just a hair more. And I'm, you know, it's not grabbing. Much better this way. But one of the things about the sanding them, the parts too, to me, is it opens the pores back up. I think the laser cutting closes the pores up so they won't accept glue very well. So now what we do is we take this piece here that has a small line around it. This spot where it has no line goes in the back, and we're going to glue this part down on top of it so that it's got that lip sticking out around it. And very key, these holes, because there are going to be doors on this piece eventually, those holes have to be towards the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put a bit of glue all over this part here. Like that. Close this up without stabbing myself with it. And this doesn't have a top or a bottom. This part does, this does not. So I'm just going to slide it on here, making sure that I keep that edge pretty much even in the back and matching the lines on the sides. Take this little bit of extra glue out of here. And so you can see there is a lip around it. Once I do that, I take these parts here, micro sawdust on these parts. Take these parts here and I'm going to glue them in to the posts that are there, or glue the tabs on them into the holes on the part that's just glued. Set this on here. Got too much glue again. Again, I'm going to wipe it off. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, that glue would not matter that much, but it's just cleaner this way. If I can keep from wiping it back on as I wipe it off. So there's that side. We do the center, same thing, except for it's only got one tab on there. I'm sitting here looking at this and going, what the heck is going on there? But you got that one tab that's going to go on there, and then the piece is going to slide in from the back. So put this on here. That's another reason to use white glue, because white glue gives you some time to move it if need be, take some of it off. The only problem with white glue is that if you have a little bit extra on it, what's going to happen if you try and paint, or not paint, paint not so much, stain won't take very well at all. So slots in the front, push all the way in. Okay, just looking what the instructions are telling me. Instead of doing the tabs, because that's where the sides of the tabs are where the glue is splooshing out from. So I'm just going to do the base. Not near as much glue came out, except for right here in the front. Of course, right in the front where you're going to see it. So now this piece, this base piece is going to slide in underneath the middle support. Just like this. It's going to slide all the way until it doesn't stop, or it can't go any further. Basically what it's going to do is it is going to line up with the back of this piece here. Like that. Make it as straight as possible across. And then the last piece is going to be the shelf here. It's going to go in here like this. Pins to the front again. Just a little bit of glue into each of these slots. Maybe a little bit on the tab that sticks out. Slide it into the slots on the vertical pieces that are already in place. Slide it all the way back. Got a little bit of glue splooging out. And there you have the beginning of a cabinet. I actually looked at the camera and I saw a little bit of glue I wanted to get rid of. So there you go. There's the beginning of the cabinet. Let me go ahead and bring this back over here. Beginning of the first floor. Got that cabinet here. I'll even lay it down so you can see it. And that is all there is to do, I think. Yep, that's all there is to do in stage 45 or 35. Took long enough anyway. 41-minute video. That's one of the things I like about the Moomin house is it takes a long time, but that also means that it kills an entire day if I do 2 or 3 stages of the Moomin house. So I hope you're enjoying this. I think it is a worthwhile build. It's being put out by DeAgostini. I actually, last I checked, I don't know that it's available right now. I don't think it is. But I think that's because the December issues with shipping. I'm pretty sure because it's still on the website that it will come back. Like and subscribe. Come on over to Hobby Tom Modelers on Facebook, YouTube, Discord. We do streams on most every Friday. Well, we do pretty much every Friday and most every Sunday we do a stream. Links will be in Discord, or links will be in Discord. Links will be in the description to get to our Facebook, our YouTube, and our Discord. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Have a great day. Have a great day tomorrow. And I will see you on the next video.